They discovered over here that we have a lot of brothers over here. It's you come to such a community where you feel right away that it's something special. There's a brotherly feel, the feeling that should be between all Yehudim should extend from this place to go to everywhere else. I said over at the end of the shiur, maybe I'll start right at the beginning over here. But I heard from my Rabbi, Rabbi Yosef David, was a big tzaddik and honor. He said a question that how do we know? The Gemara says, how do we know that we say Malchiyot on Rosh Hashanah? We say Malchiyot. Where did we learn this from? He said we learned this because it says, Ani Hashem Elokeichem, I am Hashem your God, and the next pasuk it says V'chodesh Hashvi on Rosh Hashanah. But where's that pasuk Ani Hashem Elokeichem? Where does it say this? It doesn't say that on Rosh Hashanah. If you come to Rosh Hashanah, Ani Hashem Elokeichem, it says that in the mitzvah of Leket Shikho Peah, which is part of the Yontiv of Shavuos. So he said, this is his words, he said, you don't make a Kadosh Baruch Hu Melech by putting a talis over your head on Rosh Hashanah. If you make a Kadosh Baruch Hu Melech and Shavuot, when it's Leket Shikho Peah, which is including the poor people, he said it was Hamelachta et Chavercha Alecha. You make your friend the king over you. That's the way to make Kadosh Baruch Hu king. You come to Kadosh Baruch Hu, I understand it is like this, that in Melech V'lo Am, you come to Kadosh Baruch Hu, you're the king. You first make HaKadosh Baruch Hu's people into one nation, into one Am, and then you can make HaKadosh Baruch Hu the king. The law of Ribbit, which we find is amazing how the Torah is so stringent. In one loan, a person gives a loan and he charges interest. There are 6 different times in the Torah says, Allah, lo taseh, is not to charge interest. 6 times on the malva and on the love, the person taking the loan also, there are 3 different lavin which he could be over. And the people involved, a person being a broker, a person being writing documents with loan. If you're a lawyer, I'm just writing up the documents between a loan of ribbit between a Jew and a Jew. It's also he's over on Leisasim. Why this is so chamor? Really, ribbit is not stealing from somebody. I'm stealing money. The person wants the loan. He wants to pay the interest. It's his problem. He wants the loan. He wants to pay interest. Let him pay interest. What's the problem? The Ramban on the Pirush on the Torah says the reason of ribbit is like tzedakah and chesed between brothers. Between brothers. In brothers, it becomes a different law. The whole choshe mishpat, the whole money laws change when it's talking about brothers. To the point that the Gemara asks a question: why do we need a lot? Why do we need a lot for ribit, ona'ah, gzela? It's all the same thing. If you're taking money that doesn't belong to you, why? Because between brothers, you got to give the loan for free. That became you're charging interest. This is stealing already. It's a different laws between brothers. So now we understand. I hear that between brothers, it's a different way how it goes. I just say some interesting questions, maybe that came. Thursday night, somebody called me. What an interesting question, an interesting story. I want to hear what everybody says about this question. So there's a person who is looking. He's looking to get some losses on his real estate. I don't know if you know how this works. The goyim only have to make money. So Jewish people sometimes they need losses. They made too much money already, so he needs to show some losses. So you aware of this? You aware of this? So he came to somebody and he says, "You have a real estate company. I'll give you money, and I'm going to take. You'll give me some of the losses." So in other words, like this, he says, this guy's looking for investors. He says, "You'll come and invest in my real estate project, and I usually going to give a preferred return. You get 6% a year, and instead of the preferred return, you're going to get to get all the losses from this real estate, and you'll be able to put it on your tax return." So he's giving him this benefit up front instead of the preferred return. By the way, preferred return also So the first question is that preferred return is that is it really is this is it really a fixed return and he has to get it? Is a lot of questions have to be asked. It's a long shiur by itself. Preferred return is their preferred equity and a preferred return. A lot of times people will raise money and they have a lot of different ways how they structure debt in a way that it looks like an investor who's taking money is getting a preferred equity and a preferred return. Really, it could be very similar to a loan with a ribbit. And so, anytime you're talking about this type of investments, it's really something like a mezzanine debt. It's something that's not exactly a debt. Something you have to ask a question about. Sometimes it could be mutar. Sometimes it could be ribbit rabbanan. Sometimes it could be ribbit doraisa. We have to ask a question about such a thing. So he says, no, he doesn't have a preferred equity. That's not the problem. He's an investor. He's just getting the losses out. And just like one thing they made up that, in 4 years, if he gives him back his money on par, then he gives him back his money and Shalom Yisrael. He gets 4 years, he'll get the losses on his books. And after that, Shalom Yisrael, you get back your money. So what do the people think? This is mutar, asur medarabanan, asur medoraita. Is this okay? He's putting his money is an investment. He's putting his money as an investment, but he wants that he's in 4 years, if he gives him back all his money, exactly everything he put in, he takes him out, and Shalom Yisrael. Any opinions? No? Anybody wants to think? What do you think? It's good? Mutar. What do you think? Why? Okay, so I'm happy that I came.
His money is guaranteed.
Is what? His money is not guaranteed. Then it's okay. Okay, so I'm happy I took the trip. What do you say? Is what? It's asur. Okay. Why do you think it's asur? Right, but he's saying his money's not secured. He's not guaranteeing the money. If you guarantee, anytime you're guaranteeing money, you have to be careful with ribbit. If it's a guarantee and you're getting back the principal and the interest, that's ribbit right. If you're not guaranteeing money and you're just going to get a return, mutar, you're guaranteeing money and you get return, then you're already going to be involved in a ribbit rabbanan situation, at least karov l'schar, v'rachok min ha'hefsid. But if he's not here, he's risked his money, he's putting it into a real estate project. He's putting it in, he could lose. And that's why, at first glance, somebody might say, it's mutar. But at second glance, somebody might say that this is asur. Why? I think it's asur to do this. And the reason is because basically, any time you make a sale of an item, where a person gets a right to come in and owns it, and there's a right for the person, the seller, who sold it, to redeem it, get it back. Same money. On par, you give back the money, you get back the principal, you give back the principal, you're out. So really, it's not a sale. It wasn't a sale. And even though, technically, the purchaser could lose, because the sale item, the investment might go bad, but this is asur. Because really what happened here is, it wasn't the sale. It wasn't an investment either. The investment was maybe the security, but the fact that we could undo it, even if it's just a borrower that could undo it, that's asur. That's what? Because you could undo it, yeah. And that's what it says. It's the Shulchan Aruch over here. The Shulchan Aruch says, "Machar sadeh lechaver v'amar lo." It tells him, like, "Kishayu ma'ot tachzil et karka." When I get back money, or return the karka, lo kana. It's not. There's no kinyan over here. V'chol aperot she'achal, even just eating the fruits, the benefit of the sale. Ribit ktsutza. What does a ribit ktsutza mean? Ribit is a fixed interest And it's Mutzilas. Now it's a whole conversation over here. You could look others say maybe Rabbi Ravan over here. In our case, it might be different because he's getting the benefit for sure on the spot. He's getting the law since he's not just achilat perot, which is questionable. So in our case, it could be a real serious problem, and because beforehand there might be some solutions. Again, there's some that say that you can make a sale with a, a condition to buy back. Even that, the Ritva really says that the Torah does not say lo titen halva'a beribit. It says et kaspecha lo titen b'neshech. Yada at Torah tzov dato. A sale with a condition to buy back a sale. This is not a sale, and it's ribit. And that's what the Chikri Lev also says this, that goes to the Chumrah with this. For sure, a person did this already. I'm not even going to try to make any solution for you. He did it already. It's a big problem. The only solution they had for the person was you should make that the sale happen. It's done. It's complete. The investment is his. If he wants midato, if he's willing and able to, he wants to give it to him after 4 years. He wants to go on the honor system to give him back the money and get back the investment. It's not a loan that he could do. If it's just like really the sale is final, he wants the loan, and that's fine. It's interesting. This person told me also a story, which is very, very interesting. This person bought was buying a property, and this person's very careful not to take a loan, even with het iska. No, nothing. No loans with iska. He doesn't want to do games. Now, the truth of the matter is, I will tell you that you could rely on heter iska. Halavai, at least you should make heter iska. The Chazon Ish writes that what Chachamim make up, that and they do al pi mishpatei Torah, the way they see it and the way they see it fit, the needs of a specific generation, what has to be done. They say it's mutar, and if you don't believe in it, but this person happens to be his father is very makpid on the shitat of the Gaon Mivilna, who they say, even though others say Chaim Volozhin even talk with that iska, but they say that there's stories that he said that he would not be somech on heter iska. The Min HaShamayim, they didn't accept it. Could be there was a different heter. There's a lot to discuss about that. But the people that go with the Gaon Mivilna, they don't want to make games. They don't, and this is the way his father told him that no games, no heter iska. And this person is very successful, and he won't take money at a loan with a bank. That's a Jewish bank. So he came to it was buying a property, and they said for close to closing already, he found out that this lender is a Jewish guy, and he has heter iska. For some reason, he overlooked it, and now it's very late. And the game race he has to close. And this, what should he do? He told the broker. He said, "Listen, I don't do loans with heter iska. I have to go somewhere else. I'm out of here. He's going to lose this deposit. What's a big deposit he put that? Nothing. I'm not doing it." He said, "But what do you do with the chametz? You sell the chametz. You write it back." He says, "No, I don't. But even if you have expensive stuff, bourbon, scotch, you just give it away. Yeah, I just give it away. Give everything away. Give it before Pesach. I don't have no chametz. I don't do mechilat chametz. Also, going to Vilna, I had a problem with that." So he says, "Okay, listen." The person went back to his boss, and he told him, "Listen, this deal. The guy he says he can't close. He doesn't do heter iska." He says, "What the boss says? What does he do with chametz and Pesach? He doesn't sell the chametz and Pesach. No, he doesn't. He gives it away." He says, "Let me get in touch with this guy. You don't sell the chametz and Pesach. You don't have this guy." Okay, you know what? This loan we're selling right away to Fannie Mae. We get rid of it. It's on the books only for 2 weeks. We make the interest. would take off the interest for you. We're just going to get the loan for Fannie Mae for you. We're not going to charge you any interest. So yeah, wait, nothing. So he made money. He stuck to his guns. He stuck to his do what's right. And listen, I'm not. The moral of the story is not to not be saying iskem. The moral of the story is to stick to your guns, to do what you know is right, and Hakadosh Baruch Hu benches you for that. The awareness to make a iska, that's what's important. Many times people call me up after there's already a deal in place. Person he has a cash advance business. He's taking a lot of money. He's giving a lot of money. Giving the money to the goyim. Okay, fine. That's we spoke about the other week. But he's taking money from investors and he guarantees the investment. And you guys, if it's take $1 million, he took from somebody, guaranteed him 20% interest over the year. Now he has to come make the first payment. Now maybe it's a bit. Now he calls the rabbi. Would you go and you would take from a tray for restaurant, and then afterwards, after you're ready to bench, you're gonna say, well, is there something to do now? This is a big problem. Now, before you do it, that's when you got to think about it, and that's what you got to do at this guy. It was a big bank recently. They did it with at this guy for big bank, and they didn't realize that slowly but surely the bank was taken over by Jews. Baruch Hashem, it's successful. 35% of the money, the stock, all the board members, all from Jews, and they realized we're lending money to people. People can not everybody asks for it. There's got people who ask for it. They would give it, but people walked in. They were lending to from borrowers, personal guarantee, not personal guarantee. Everything. This is something something people have to be aware of. You have to know. You have to think about it beforehand. What am I doing? You put your head to it before. What am I doing? Then Kodesh Baruch Hu benches you. That
the question is, two questions. The first one is the Tereska. Just to explain what is the Tereska.
What is it?
What is the Tereska in details? And the Tereska is general. The Tereska have to be for loans.
For each loan.
Because the bank is writing it general.
Right.
Nobody come, they put over there.
Right.
If they're smart,
it's on the website.
Under apply to their Tereska.
That's good. Whatever it is, Bes Yehuda.
Yes,
yeah.
So they put it like this. So they tell, and what is the game of a Tereska? Meaning, if you're going to lose, I'm going to give you 80%, 99% loans, and then 1% from this 1%, I'm going to have 20%.
Right. Okay.
We have to be a certain amount. And second question is cash advance. The two hardest questions in the market is a Tereska. What's the risk? What is not the risk? Right. Second one is cash advance.
Well, so first of all, we have to. It's an important thing which we do at this guy at least to know, like the Rabbi said, to know what you're doing and to understand it. When you're giving a heter what you're doing, you're changing. There are really two types of heter. One heter is doing 50% loan, 50% pikadon. Chatzi milchama, chatzi pikadon.
That one is fair enough.
That's fair enough. Most people understand it. The half loan is where you're making the money. The half pikadon is getting money for you. A pikadon is very important to understand. Like he said before, it's money that's risked. It's my money. You're taking my money. You're managing my money. You're going to develop it and grow it.
As much money that I want is 50%.
So what is it? Let's think about what that issue is with the making the high thing. The first thing to understand is that there's you make a requirement. Now people don't want to risk their money, and they want to get a return. So to alleviate the risk against loss of principal, you're allowed to make a condition that the borrower / recipient of the iskat, the person who's managing the iskat, should have to bring two kosher witnesses to verify that is this. Now it's almost impossible to bring two kosher witnesses, have two kosher witnesses from the beginning to end, to follow the money, especially if the money is not, it could be in a lot of different things. Nobody followed the money around, nobody was there to see it, and it happens to be that you can't verify it, that's fine. You could do that. You could make this condition, he has to bring two kosher witnesses, he can't, and therefore he has to return the principal. You could only do that to secure the principal. To secure the Interest, you cannot do this. You have to give a right for the recipient to make a shvur and get out of it. You tell him you make a shvur. You tell me that you didn't make so much profit. He makes the shvur. He's out. So therefore, we understand a little bit what's going on over here. We're making a trick. The trick is not really a trick on the ribit d'oraisa, like we said, because if it's only getting a return from money that was really invested with him, that's the only thing I'm going to have to pay. If he actually made the money, he's going to pay the money for money that he made. That's only a question of ribit d'rabanan. Karov l'schar v'rachok min ha'hefsed. So this you can make this trick that you say you want to not pay a certain amount, you have to take a shvur chamur. That you could do, and I think this is again what the Chachamim instilled to do this. Now the question is the problem. What the rabbi brings up is to make a high amount of interest. When you make a high amount of interest, especially if it's a half loan, where the loan is what you are making the money on, and the half picador is what I'm making the money on. So technically, what I'm making up, let's say I make 20% interest. The 20% interest, what I'm saying is that you have to make a shvua that you didn't make, not 20%, 40%, because you're telling me that you didn't make. If you tell me you made anything less than 40% of my money, you make a shvur. And in order not to make the shvur, which people don't make a shvur anyways nowadays, he's going to pay you 40% on your money. So that it really, you start asking the question to yourself: does that really make sense? Does that make sense to require somebody to make a shvur they didn't make 40%? Because really nobody makes 40%. 40% is way out. So therefore, most of these type of loans, people will use a het iska design as a kula pikadon. The whole thing is a pikadon, and therefore, again, the shvur is a little bit difficult, but at least the shvur in this case wouldn't be 40%; it'd be on 20%. And also, that's what the solution was in these cases. But the cash advance guys, we write that basically 99% of the profits go to the recipient, to the investor. It's kula pikadon, and 1% goes to the mekabeliska in order for as a management fee. And again, so that's something that works. Again, most of the times the cash advance as people are not giving to from Yehudim Shomer Shabbat, Shomer Mitzvot. Most of the people they're giving to are goyim, or at least not Shomer Shabbat. So therefore, for them, they could be samech maybe on the iska kalali. If it's not Shomer Shabbat, Rabbi Avadia writes that it's okay. There is an issue we should be concerned about, and others write this also. Sfaradim also write that you should be concerned about betinuk shenishba, some of the tinuk shenishba. So therefore, it's at least you should treat it like a safek, and it's something to be concerned about. Again, if you know that somebody is Jewish, then obviously you should do at this. The main concern to me, I have two concerns about the cash advance. Concern number one, Chilu Hashem. You're doing things that even by the goyim are going to look at it. They look at it like usury. They look at it like destroying somebody's business, taking him to the ground. Chilu Hashem. And Chilu Hashem is something that's going to depend on the person, whoever's doing it, how he does it. There are people that do it, they scale back, and the person, if you can't make the payments, we'll go easy on you, we'll get less on you. We're not going to put you in the ground. We're not going to put your business out. So so a person it comes as a certain with a menschlichkeit, listen, your business was desperate for money, you pay a lot. Okay, but at least he's not somebody that's gonna make his money and let that person's business go in the ground. It doesn't look good. There was actually a secular article about this, about the people that started the business, how two guys made $10 million and lost God. And lost God, they made $10 million. These people, they go through the whole idea of the business and how it played out. So people have to know about that. What's it?
Is there a percentage cash advance it's not about
Again, most of the time I'm telling you, it's a business that you should be doing. You shouldn't give to another Shomer Shabbat from Jew. You shouldn't be giving interest on with cash advance. To do it with goyim and even not Shomer Shabbat people. So you should have a het iska klali in place. which allows them to be a kula pikadon, and you should also make sure to you present the Jewish people. You should not make a chilul Hashem, and think about it. Think about whatever you're doing, how it presents, how it looks on the Jewish people, and try to not make it look not good for us. The other thing that we're talking, yeah.
I have a quick question. So, all these cash advance businesses and hard money loans, whatever you take, and then they, let's say I give you $100,000 to you, Rabbi, whatever it is, and let's say you don't end up paying. Everything is done right. As heuristic, everything kosher. You give me $1, everything is right, perfectly fine. 6 months down the line, you don't pay anymore, but I take a lawyer, I sue you. But the whole point of the giving to Jewish people, you have like a problem because later on, if they don't pay, you sue the other Jew, and that's like a big problem, no?
That's a separate problem. Suing a Jewish person in a court is a big problem. So you have to take if you're going to a Jewish person, you're gonna have to take the person to Bedin. But if the person doesn't pay after it's verified at Bedin that he owes the money, a lot of times Bedin will tell the person that you could go collect the money in court. That's actually the way that Bedin works. People don't know that Bedin works like this. People think Bedin doesn't have any power. If you have in your at the Iska agreement, you have an arbitration agreement. You go arbitration, and arbitration in Bezdin gets to a psak halacha a lot faster than getting a judgment in court. It's a lot litigation in court is very expensive, and it takes a long time to get the court to say ish ploni ata chayav. In Bezdin, there's a lot faster, but there's two parts. There's shoftim and shotrim. There's judges and policemen. The Bezdin is not a good policeman, but the way it works is you have an arbitration agreement, and you could enter, and if the person doesn't want to pay, you could enter the arbitration in court, and the court will force the person to pay according to the arbitration award. So it's not there's nothing lost by going to Bet Din as far as doing the right process. Two Jews should not go and have a diyun in front of goyim. It's a chil Hashem. It's the Shulchan Aruch very chamor about this. Okay, so you go to the Bet Din, you get your psak. If the person does not want to listen to the psak bezdin, just pay the money right then. Usually it should not be a big problem to go and confirm your arbitration award in court, and that would the way to secure your money. It's a lot. What time? How much time we have? It's late already.
But if the money is a pikadon,
Yeah.
how you can take it to court?
Okay, what?
If you give the money to another as a pikadon,
Yeah.
you can take it to court.
Well,
Rabbinical.
right. Well, even in the rabbinical court, they'll say, "Well, do you have two witnesses? Do you want to make a shvuah?" All these terms of the heteska will usually secure the principal 100%. The difference between going to court and going thing with the heteska in the court, they'll take the heteska and they'll say this is a joke, this is a religious document, and they'll charge the person the interest 100%. And a lot of times there'll be cases where it gets thrown out of court. So again, a lot of a person's intention is just to take the court, and he's not, and he would not go to a bezdin. It puts a question mark on the, how serious he was about this guy in the first place. But as far as how Bezdin deals with it, yeah, they'll deal usually with the interest in a way that to let the person a little bit.
One question more. So these loans that anybody who gives a cash advance or hard money loan for real estate or whatever it may be, in general, these loans are made for people not to pay back in general. Because the contracts are saying that you have to pay this fee, that fee, there's 30 different fees.
Right.
But eventually, whenever the guy comes toes his term of his 1 year before his loan comes to an end,
Right.
he cannot pay back those fees because it's $2,000 fees, $1,000, $3,000, all these
Right.
bunch of fees. Is that allowed to do that in general? So if you're giving a Jew, not talking about goyim, I'm talking about in general Jewish people, or it has to be like special rules for that, like
You say even with heteska, could you do this? It's called like predatory lending, and again, it's with the Jewish person, it's not. It's for sure. It's not. No. I don't know. It's not really common that Jewish people would take such loans, but if they do, you have to know how to treat somebody. You take somebody and bankrupt his business because you have to make your returns. It's difficult. A lot of times, I had what's the best. It was a guy. He was learning as a neshech first aid. He says, this person he gave a person in this company. He says we're going to be a real shutfut. no, I don't even have this guy real shutfut. And then he's taking 50% of the profits of the company, and then the person couldn't make payments, and so he changed it to 60%. And then and all the expenses were on the company. He says the company has to take all the expenses, and he went up to 60%, and he didn't realize something. He said, you're giving somebody 50-50, it's a real shutfut. Yeah, it's not a real shutfut, it's an iska. You're giving him all the money, he's going, and again, if it's a real iska, the expenses have to go to the person that's giving the iska. Changing the terms, you can't change terms of the chatzi milva without this in the middle of the term. You wanna what's with schar techa? You didn't give him schar techa. A lot of things, like 3 different problems that the person had from in one little transaction. So the people have to know. You have to ask questions, and you have to have siyata d'shemai.
שכוח הבית. שנזכה בעזרת השם.
בעזרת השם, everybody should be זוכה, בדין של כסיבה חסימה כתובה, הקדוש ברוך הוא יברך אתכם, זכות, should be זוכה, הכסיבה חסימה כתובה, כתובה שתהיה.